Peace, peace. This is A Vision Media Broadcast. Once again, we have another special show for you viewers. We have 7A3. The group was based out of California now, correct? But you
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you're from Brooklyn.
yeah.
Yes.
There
Yes.
you go. There you go. The group is
Meets
from
New York.
Brooklyn. That's right. New York. You also was with DJ Muggs in the beginning. You guys formed the group 7A3.
Uh,
You came out with a few songs, man, a few hits. And viewers, I want you to check out 7A3. You're gonna hear their story, their career. They're here now. Peace, fellas. How you doing? We have Sean and Brett, the brothers.
Yes.
Peace out, y'all.
Peace. Peace. Peace.
Well, wonderful, man. Like I said, I'm honored to have you guys because to me, you guys are legendary, man. You're legends, and I know to a lot of other people it's the same. So
Thank you.
I'm gonna welcome y'all to A Vision Media Broadcast.
thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate that.
Welcome, man. Anyone can start. Just tell me, how did you get into the music industry, man?
Uh, there was Jeff Finster. Actually, Ice T was a good friend of mine, and this guy Jeff Finster and Mio Vukovic, they wanted to do a record with him, and he was like, "Nah, I don't want to do it, but I got somebody who a friend of mine might do it." So he asked me. I met up with him, and the first record we recorded was "We Will Rock You."
Yeah, which was a remake of the Queen song
Queen,
"We
yeah,
Will Rock
Yeah,
You."
he song "We Will Rock You,"
Right, and which is historically
and that's
But
how it started.
right. And just for the record, historically, I think we were the only artists at that point that released the rights
okay,
to
wow.
do a song, a new rendition of that song.
Now we will rock you. Word that was a Queen hit. That was like a
Yeah,
massive hit.
yeah,
Did you guys ever
Yeah.
get a chance to do it? Or did you do the remix?
yeah. We did the
Yeah.
remix. It came out.
Okay.
That's what basically got us our deal. But at that time, it was on Macola
Macola.
Cool.
Records,
Okay.
which is the same record company that the original NWA and Posse, the NWA Posse came out.
Well, it wasn't a label; it was
Had
a
it-
distribution.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
distribution.
distribution. It made a little noise, but what it did was it allowed us to get a song on Man Man World, which in turn allowed us to get an album deal. I mean, a song
Wow.
on Colors, Man Man World, which in turn allowed us to get an album deal.
Now
Yeah.
you said you talk about Ice T. You talked
Mm-hmm.
about you mentioned Ice T. You
Uh-huh.
guys also, like you said, you did have a song on Colors,
Yes.
and that okay, and We Will Rock You was the one that got you over the top.
We Will Rock You,
Now,
trying to let everybody know. I think Colors got us all over the top, and then
Okay,
when the album came out, Listen to My Drummer as My Drummer Goes Bang.
that's right. That's right.
drums are
But
still
The still. That's right.
but Coolin and Cali, kind of a lot of people knew about that because that was done by the Bomb Squad.
right. So, just for the timeline purposes, "We Will Rock You" was the song that Ice T passed over to Brett. Brett put me on. It was distributed through Macola. It was on Vendetta Records. That segued into the opportunity for us to get the Color soundtrack opportunity, which we did a song called "Mad Mad World" on, which that the success that Color's soundtrack went gold, which that transitioned into us getting offered the single deal on Geffen, which we did "Why Party Time," which transitioned into us to get a album deal, which was the album was entitled "Coolin and Cali," and the first single off that album was "Coolin and Cali," done by the Bomb Squad.
Okay. Wow. That was dope. And after that, you guys came up with the
Drummer.
other one, Drums Are Still.
Right.
That was the second lead single. That was the first. That was
That
the
was the
second.
second single,
Second
the
lead single.
first video,
Mhm.
Yeah.
which to this day I argue that was one of the biggest mishap. They didn't do a video for "Coolin and Cali," which would have really catapulted us into a different stratosphere. But that's just my own personal thing.
Actually, I just posted the video, man, yesterday, as a matter of fact, and we talking about like over it's like 6.7 thousand right now.
Uh,
Wow.
Yeah, on my media page. It's called Media Broadcast. When you get a chance, Facebook Media Broadcast, you'll see it.
Oh,
All right.
Fans are going crazy on it.
yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Because I didn't know, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't 7A3. I didn't know that it was a group with DJ Muggs. I never knew it
No.
until I did my research. I did the research after talking with Jeff from BTP. I said, well, I
Right.
never knew that Muggs, if they was a part, they was a group. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, I
Well,
never knew that.
I'll be the one to really say this. My brother Brett, who put me on, it was Brett and I 783 prior to Muggs. 783 is the apartment number we was raised in. Our mother, three people lived in the apartment. My mother, my brother, and I, and that was 783 originally. Our first DJ was actually son Doobie from Funkdoobiest. He was a high school friend of mine, and we put him on as our DJ. Uh, he missed the show that we got booked to do in Cypress by Julio G and Tony G, and Muggs was the actual in-house DJ, and he covered for Sun, and it's been history. We put him in. Brett asked him to be part of the group, and Brett put him on from that point on, and he became our internal DJ.
Wow, you know what I love about listening to stories, man, and people have some great stories. Like I said, I never knew that 783. First of all, I never knew it was the apartment building of the name. So listening to the story, man, it really helps you with the history because you need to know your history when you go back. And people don't know that story until they get you on a show or if you say it in a magazine, say something about it. And that's a wonderful thing, man. Now 783.
Uh-huh.
Did y'all have a name before that? 783?
Nah.
It was
Nah, we
always
yeah, we were never a group. We actually, because of that single that Ice did,
Ice-T, yeah.
that he offered to my brother, to Brett.
Okay.
Brett wanted to get me out of East New York. I was visiting that summer to go see my brother and my father who lived in California.
Okay.
I walked down the street on Hollywood Boulevard. Somebody said hi to me. I threw up my hands
Like
and
about
I
to
was like,
fight.
"What, you want to fight?"
Yeah.
And my brother was like, "Yo, they just said hi." I was like, "I don't care. You don't know me." He at that moment took his initiative and was like, "Yo, I can't send you back." And the offer for him to do that song came around the same time. So his stipulation to take the offer was if I could get my brother on it. We both were rhyming separately.
Yeah.
Me doing it leisurely in New York, him doing it out here making noise. And there it is.
Wow, wow, Brett, I have a lot, not too many. I'm not gonna flood you, but I have some questions for you. Showing you to Brett is on, man. You know what I mean? And the brothers, y'all two together, y'all made history. I want y'all to
Yeah.
know that. Now, when you mentioned the apartment building 783, was son Doobie living in the building too?
No.
Never.
And the way I met Sean, when my brother was out here, he was in he went to Fairfax.
Fairfax.
Yes, him and Son hooked up at Fairfax.
Okay.
And Son came home with Sean at Fairfax, and that's how I met Son, and Son got in the mix.
Right. And I'll go even deeper. Son was a younger, we're the same age, but he was younger. So I kind of took him as a younger brother. I was fresh out of New York. He had been out here for years, junior high school and all that, and was doing the New York thing, and people was looking at him crazy. So I kind of was like, yo, you know what? I took him like,
Under your
yo, this is
wing.
my man. Yeah, under my
Yeah,
wing.
yeah,
And that was my man. And I kind of gave him that. And what happened was, because of that, I brought him home, and he was like my homeboy. And Brett and I was doing 783 at that point. But after we did 783, we kept Son around. And so Son came to East New York and stood with our mother. My mother allowed him to come stay in Linden houses in East New York because we were doing 783 business. But that was after the first album.
okay.
During the making of the second album, and that was his initial introduction and how he stayed in East New York. Because sometimes he does claim Brooklyn and East New York, but that is via us directly and my mother.
No, his father
No,
actually
I said East New York. I didn't say Brooklyn.
East New
Brooklyn. Yeah,
York.
his
Okay.
father actually in Brooklyn, but
He was born in, yeah.
yeah, he didn't live. He didn't live in our building. I put it this way: I'd never been to his hood in New York, in Brooklyn.
Oh,
But
oh,
he claims East New York because
Wait. I'll clear it up even further. He was my friend.
okay. Yeah.
He was born in Brooklyn in I want to say Bensonhurst or something like that. Not in the projects whatsoever. He moved with his mother to California, same way we moved with our father to
He
California.
moved to his mother.
He
With his
moved with
mother.
his mother to California. He was raised junior high probably up. We came in high school and junior high respectively around 14, 15 ourselves with our father. So when he came back, he stayed with us because we invited him to come back and help to be part of 783's growth. So that's kind of how that was. Brett taught.
New
Go
York
ahead, bro. Yeah.
Mhm.
basically.
So I don't know if that was enough details, but if you need any more, we can definitely provide it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's listen, man. I love it. I love it, man. You know, and shout out also. I want y'all to know that Funkdoobiest. I love Rock On. Rock On was a banging song. It was like from the golden era, from the '90s. That song Rock On.
Uh,
And
Right.
can you give me the story of Spider-Man and Freeze?
well,
Wait. Those are two different things.
the
Yeah,
two
yeah,
different-
yeah, yeah.
Rock, what happened with Rock On is when Muggs first was signed to Funkdoobiest and he was thinking about doing Funkdoobiest, me and him were walking down Gower,
Mhm.
which is in Hollywood. And he was like, "Yo, I want to do something with Son, but I want you to write all the rhymes."
Yeah.
I was like, "Well, he can rhyme." I was like, "I won't write his rhymes because he rhymes all right, but what I will do, I'll do the hooks and the concepts." So Rock On was the concept that I came on with. And if you watch the video, that's why a lot of people think he's from East New York, because a lot of people in the video were people that me and Sean.
Nah, B.
That rock,
That's dedicated.
oh,
That's
that
different.
yeah.
Rock
No,
on.
Rock On was another hook that I wrote for them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. And
go ahead. Yeah, what I was saying about, I was saying I like the song Rock On, and I was moving on. And I was saying shout out to him about the song Rock On, and
gotcha.
and then I mentioned,
Spider-
can you talk to me about Spider-Man and Freeze?
Spider-Man
You know what I mean?
grew up with them. Now they're
Yeah.
from New York.
They're from East New York and they're from Linden Houses, our project.
Okay, Linden Housing, East New York.
The way we knew Spider-Man and Freeze, well, Sean and Spider-Man knew each other from school.
Because they was close. Mhm.
Spider-Man was they both lived in our grandmother's building.
Okay.
So when we go see our grandmother, we would see Spider-Man and Freeze. And incidentally, Spider-Man was raised in 7A and 240,
7A.
which our mother and our grandparents and our uncle were. My mother was raised in 240 apartment 7A.
Okay.
Before Spidey moved into the
Before
apartment, let me get even deeper.
Okay.
She lived in Linden. Her father lived in Linden, and my mother lived in 247A. But that's how we knew Spidey and Freeze, because Spidey and Freeze actually lived in our grandmother's building.
In the building.
Yo, let me get even deeper, yo. Let me get even deeper, because he ain't gonna say all this.
Yeah.
My brother right there
Yeah.
was conceived in apartment 7A and 240, the apartment that Spider-Man was raised in.
Yeah. Okay.
My brother was actually conceived. The apartment that 783 we're talking about in 570 in East New York, that's where I was born the day before. I was born the day after my mother and father moved into that apartment 7A.
Okay,
So 7A, we have a lot of connection to the 7A, but the conception of my brother right there literally happened in the apartment that Spider-Man was raised in after my mother moved out of that apartment.
Yeah.
Wow. See, that's deep. See, y'all, listen. I know y'all can go deeper, and this will go on for about 3 hours. Like I already know. That's why I wanted to know the story behind. No. This is why I wanted to know the story behind 783. I did, but it's not going to be enough time. I wish it would last that long. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's dope, man. And now we're talking about without Muggs. Everything happened without him coming on yet, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, Dante Ross. How was that connection with Dante Ross?
I met Dante Ross through Muggs.
Okay.
We're in New York, and while I was writing, Muggs was in the street. So I was
Oh,
writing the album. We met Dante. Dante was cool, but Dante was producing. He had some tracks, but we had already hooked up with Joe the Butcher, so we had a lot of tracks coming from producers
already coming from.
out of Philly.
Oh,
Um,
well, okay, okay. My hometown. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. That's
So yeah, because we did the first album in Studio One with Joe the Butcher.
Studio 4.
Studio Four, I'm
four.
sorry,
Okay.
with Joe the Butcher.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I met Dante Ross. But a funny story about Dante Ross: when Dante Ross came out, when Latifah came out, Dante Ross was out here with Latifah, and we were at a bar, and there was some dude messing with Dante Ross and Latifah, and I was a little tipsy, and I wound up knocking dude out
Oh yeah.
for Dante, and that's how I met Latifah, Queen Latifah.
Oh,
Well,
right.
actually, B, nah.
Right after the knockout.
Yeah,
Nah, actually, you knocked her out because you already knew. Latifah came out here first through Matt McDaniels, and
no, but I meet Latifah. I met her briefly, but that's how to this day, if I see Latifah, she'll be like, "Hey, B, what's up?"
No, because of that
Got it.
It
situation.
was because of that. Now, when we was at Matt McDaniel's house, that's when I actually met De La Soul, Paz,
and Latifah. They came out at the same time.
Yeah. True Goy, God Bless the Dead, and Mace.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
to the house, to Matt McDaniel's house, De La Soul did.
But Brett, Latifah stayed with your girl, Lynn Andino.
At the time, what I'm saying, that was before when the Dante situation happened. That was before all of that even went down.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we just reminiscing and getting you the details.
No, it's all good. I want to know. I just need to know. How long did you guys stay in Philly? Like, how long was that process?
Well, he wasn't in Philly. Sean was still in Cali in high school.
I was in high school finishing my senior year.
Yeah. I was in Philly for like me and Muggs, I think like a month or two.
Okay, okay. Can
Yeah.
you recall what part, or it was too long? That's too long ago.
We was in a hotel right down near the bridge.
South Philly over by
We were right but like
yeah,
and right on the
bridge.
right under the bridge.
right on the bridge.
The Ben Franklin.
The bridge
So okay, I was in Jersey.
No,
no,
on the Philly side.
Okay, on the Philly side. All right.
We're working with Joe the Butcher.
South Philly.
Yeah, so y'all was down there. Okay, I know. Like Spring Guard and then Cali Hill.
Right.
On
Right.
that side. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Right.
And Joe the Butcher.
Oh, the exact, but I know wherever Joe's studio was, that's where we were at.
Yeah. Studio 4.
To the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to talk. It's on 4th. I think y'all was on like 4th and Spring Guard.
Yeah, that's why it was called Studio 4. And and that was before Rough House.
Yeah,
that was with PSK. That was when they was doing Schoolie and they was managing Schoolie. Chris was managing Schoolie and they were partners. And Schoolie had a part of our album as well as Cash Money. As well, a lot of Philly natives gave love to Brett and Muggs while they were out there.
Yeah,
I'm quite sure, man. I'm quite sure because y'all have a history and y'all have hit records. I'm telling you, hit songs, man.
Well, thank you.
Now I'm looking at the timeline. I don't know if this is correct, but I'm looking at in 1987. I'm looking at Street Sounds of Hip Hop 17. Are you familiar with that? It's like it's a compilation.
Compilation.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, and then in the same year, the best of West Coast hip hop street sounds. Okay, so you did music on that? Did you do the whole album?
Well, no. What happened is that's a compilation that they illegally put out of all of the stuff that was out in West Coast that was hitting. And so one of our songs they kind of snatched up and put on that. And so it wasn't something that we did at all. What wasn't even something that we permitted, but our label might have permitted it in fairness.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, what let's do, because I'm just reading the timeline. And I see there's a lot of music that, you guys are behind. You know what I mean? Brett, definitely the well, Sean, the experienced artist, the development, label management, A&R. You have a lot of titles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I put it this way. After 783 dismantled, because our second album got shelved and we kind of went in different directions.
Yeah.
Brett was continuing to write, and I started going behind the scenes and learning the business. It was kind of what we constructed collectively, and I worked at several labels, as well as did business management. Put it this way: if hip hop was a basketball team, I played every position, including the coach.
Wow, wow, okay, okay. And I know you wear a lot of hats, and you wore a lot of hats back then.
Right.
Are you doing any music for any new artists today?
I haven't. Brett is the music person doing it.
Behind the scenes.
I
I'm gonna get on
consult
Brett.
behind. Yeah, I consult and stuff naturally, but like I said, it's not something that exciting to me because
Oh,
there's nothing I haven't done in music at this point. So it doesn't really drive me. But what does drive me is helping out people who want to pursue it and me being able to lend them and consult for them to give them some opportunities and direction that I might have learned through my experiences.
okay, okay. And just one more before I start asking Brett. What was the issue with the group, and why did you disband at dismantle after it was the first album? It was like over with. Like what happened?
Brett, you want me to answer that? You want to take that, B?
You can. He asked you.
Okay, so what happened was our second album, we first got creative control. All right, so we did the album. There was a lot of, we did some stuff with Spider Man and Freeze. That's where Muggs did his first production. We did some things with Prince Paul. We went back to Daddy O and did some things with him as well. But some of the material that we was talking about outside of the label, what they wanted, we started doing some socially driven songs. So we had songs like Pledge Allegiance. We had songs
Yeah.
like Liberty or Death. We had songs like True Kings and Queens. And I think that they were, first off, Geffen merged with MCA.
Okay.
That was our
Yeah.
first merger we was part of. So Geffen sold all of his black music to MCA. MCA didn't know what to do with hip hop. They didn't have anything hip hop. It had a lot of R&B. So hence why we was working with Spider Man and Freeze to give that R&B sound that they were looking for, and they embraced it. Now, fast forward, Hot 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 was the first single done by Spider Man and Freeze with the B side of Pledge Allegiance.
Allegiance.
Pledge Allegiance. One of the verses, for example, is it ended with stories twisted, but I break it down with fact. The Pope knows that the prophets were black, but me still pledge allegiance in America. So things of that had them listen in hindsight, had them actually start listening to what we were doing. And it was like Brett said, yes, I am black, but no, I'm not a nigga. Yes, I'm one of color, but it does not make my dick bigger. And my skin is definitely not a curse. When I walk by, there's no reason to grab your purse. If I cross the street, you don't have to lock your door. You don't have to watch me while I'm shopping in your store. Please dismiss the myth. We come from savages, lived as kings and queens when you were scavengers.
Wow.
Taught the work, so he was going in. I was going in.
They didn't like it, basically.
And basically, that's what happened. So they shelved it. They didn't know what to do with it. And they shelved it because of what we was kicking. And that just kind of
real. It was real. Black power.
right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And that I think, go ahead.
but it was a little more like up until that point. You had Chuck, you had KRS,
Yeah.
but the way
How about Poor Righteous Teacher around that time?
yeah, but the way I did it was like yeah, it was yeah. They just was like, nah, we can't do that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like at the time we were managed by Barry Hankerson, and Barry came to me one day and he was like, we got a problem, and I was like, what? He's like, yo, they can't. They saying they can't put this out.
Mm.
Why they can't put it out? Like you got. So he was like, nah, because it's too political and they're scared of it. I was like, oh,
See, that's what I don't like because they pushing this homophobic nonsense now and all this the other gangster stuff, and they love it. But when you
well,
come,
no, but see, you got to understand, it started then. Like a lot
Yeah.
of people be telling me, oh, the stuff they're doing now. But as an OG, yo, I can't really, be upset with what they're doing now because to be quite honest with you, We started that shit.
Absolutely. If you think about
I
NWA,
I
Yeah,
Ice
yeah,
Cube,
yeah. Ice T,
I
right?
Ice T.
Yeah, Ice T.
I was like, yo, you know,
Schoolie D.
yeah, like,
Schoolie D. Yeah,
but even well, but Schoolie D, I don't really count that because Schoolie D was way before that. Like Schoolie D is way before Ice got his big break.
Yeah,
Schoolie
Schoolie
D,
inspired Ice 6 in the morning.
Schoolie is way before KRS-One. Schoolie is way, you know, Schoolie was he's a OG's OG.
OG. That's right. That's
You
right.
see what I'm saying? Like Schoolie before KRS, Cool Mo D, Chuck D, Ice T, 783, like Schoolie's before all of that.
Right.
And to be honest with you, as crazy as the song PSK was one of the most humblest, coolest dudes I've ever met in my entire life in the
Yeah,
rap.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like a real gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But
Yes.
at that point, you know, I can't really blame him for what they're doing now because once people started getting paid, that's all it was. And it's funny because I was looking at an interview with Ice Cube with
Cube.
Bill Maher, and he was saying like, "Yo, the reason you seeing what it is because the same people that run the music business is the same people who own the private prison."
That this is a sad situation because it's another form of slavery that they're doing now. You
Well,
know, it,
it's sad for me because you got to realize, you know, I come from, and you come from, my brother come from, we come from a time where, yeah, we had fuck the police, but we also had you must learn.
that's right. That's
You
right.
see,
You must
and
learn.
we had in fear of a black planet.
That's
So
right.
it was kind of a mix. But what happened was, yo, we can't really let them do that. Because what happened was it became a movement when you had Cool Mo D, KRS, Poor Righteous Teachers, and you had all of this music. It became a movement that was kind of powerful because the one thing I will say, like rock and roll, you know, brothers like Chuck Berry, Chuck Berry, Marvin Gaye, all of them, they experienced something in music to where they were our first generation where white kids were jumping over banners to dance with black kids and
That's right.
enjoying.
That's right.
Well, hip hop was different. Hip hop was different in the fact that if you really think about hip hop and what hip hop did, you had kids of all cultures,
Loving it.
running
Yeah.
around with hats,
That's right.
Africa medallion,
Right. That's right.
and all of that. Like I don't care, Asian, white, Latin, all of that. So it became so powerful that that had to be removed. And there's an interview in which Cool Mo D talks about it. So
Yeah.
that's what we're dealing with now. But I will say that because of social media, because of the internet,
Yeah.
I think we're
Yeah.
moving in a place where our young brothers like J. Cole, our brothers like Kendrick Lamar,
Kendrick Lamar.
brothers even like Nipsey
Yeah.
are kind of moving into that arena and bringing back that form of hip hop. And you know, everything recycles itself, and I think we're at a point now where that's starting to recycle itself as well. So hopefully, we're on the last, you know, bit of this. I don't even know what to call it because I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not really.
That's right. Me either, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, and I don't like knocking it because hey, if these younger brothers are feeding their families, I get it. But I also know, put it this way, I've been one of the talented ones. I've sat in a room with Russell. I've sat in a room with Fresh Prince. I've sat in a room with the Puppies and all that. So
And Leo and yeah.
yeah, Lior. So I kind of know behind the scenes what's going on too.
Yeah.
So and I'm not going to speak on that, but we'll just say that a lot of what you're saying as far as, you know, homophobic or what have you, a lot of that has been prevalent in the music business for a long time. So,
Yeah. It's finally coming out even more.
yeah. And I think what's happening because it's coming out even more, it's coming out more because we're moving past it.
Okay.
Right.
And there's definitely, it seems to be an intellect that's opening up among young brothers, among older brothers, about older brothers reaching back to younger brothers, younger brothers reaching to older brothers. So it seems like we're starting something different, because the propaganda that has been taught around us as far as music and just as far as men. And I'm not talking about rap music. I'm talking about music as far as men. Like we had Prince, we had Michael, who had to be androgynous in order to do what they did. We had Richard, who had to be androgynous to do what they did because a black man being a masculine black man was something that scared the shit out of everybody.
Wow, man.
And it hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed, and this is why I say once we come together, and once we come together as a people, black people, it's a big fear, and it's a scare on the other side. You know what I mean? It's a scare, man.
Well, I mean, there's a fear because, I mean, to be honest with you, you can't keep a child a slave and tell them that their father was a king and a queen. And what's happening right now with social media is that people are starting to realize that they come from kings and queens.
They're waking up. Everybody waking up now.
That's why you have the Donald Trumps. That's why you have all of these things happening because there's a fear now. People are like, oh my God, I can't believe Donald Trump is an American apple pie in baseball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that intellect is as American as apple pie in baseball. So there's always been a fear there. We're just lucky enough to be here and to see it, and that our ancestors placed us here to be the ones to change it because it's changing. Whether people like it or not, they can try to hide all the history. They can do all they want to do. There's nothing you can do to stop it. You've oppressed the people who cannot be oppressed. You can't oppress God.
That's right. That's right. And do you or Sean? Do y'all listen to any of the music today, or do you like anything that's out now?
I like the brother J. Cole. I listen to Kendrick Lamar. I listen to Nipsey. One of my brother, I forget the name, but the brother who had the song "The Evils," one split per day, I take it. You know what I mean? I like that. As far as other stuff, if I'm riding with my kids, I hear it.
Yeah, because they like it. Yeah.
Right.
I listen to it, and to be honest with you, my kids are like, yo, my kids listen to Wu-Tang.
That's right. Wu-Tang for the children.
And Dog Pound and stuff like that. So.
And my kids, the youngest ones who are in that generation right now, they listen to all of the '90s golden era.
Yeah.
And embrace it and enjoy it. They might dance to some of the stuff that's out right now.
Yeah.
But they don't really embrace it as much. I'm familiar with a lot of it because of the nature of what comes at me in reference to music, people, and them sharing what's going on. I'm not a fan of a lot of stuff. So no, I don't listen to it unless I'm working it. And stuff that I'm working, I'm not fan of sometimes. But I don't need to be a fan of something. I just need to identify the audience that embraces it and connect the audience to the music. That's kind of my mentality on it. So to answer your question, I'm not really into everything that's going on, but I don't knock it. I just try and direct them as far as business and as far as being able to just use it as a business tactic as opposed to living all of this stuff that they're trying to live up to, my ops and this, that, another, or stripping on a mic. I try and say, yo, I get that, but while you going and getting your money, here's what you need to do, and here's how you should cultivate your mind.
That's right.
That's what we always been about.
Yeah,
that's right. You're absolutely right, man. And it was, with that being said, man, it's like it's real sad when you hear the music today. My son, I have a 22-year-old, 11-year-old daughter, and then I have a 15. So I have two boys and one girl. They love they love the music, but I just can't get into it. I think you got to have the ears for that.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, but if you think about our generation and what our parents were saying about our music,
right, and that's why I can't be a hypocrite and look down on it.
Okay.
So it's like, but with that being said, I think Ice-T was the first one to have parental guidance sticker on his record.
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
Luke.
It wasn't pussy, fuck, kill, dead. Like,
Yeah, yeah, it was Ice
um,
T. Because
It was.
Sean said Luke. It was Ice T, right at first.
yeah, it was
I'm
like
not sure because it was. I know Luke was advocating for it heavily. He
no.
was really the one spearheading with all of us.
Luke is the one who they were making it for.
Right,
Right.
right.
He
Two
was
Live
the
Crew.
first one to have it.
Got you.
Um,
Got you.
so, but it's like right now, I can't. Like I said, I can't knock it because we allowed it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
We allowed it. You know what I
We
mean? Like when we went in and we took those deals and we started saying fuck, shit, nigga, bitch, and all that, we allowed it, and we allowed them. And not only did we allow it, we allowed other people to dictate it as to being like, all right, well, if we do this, we're going to do this. We allowed them to decide what was going to be played on the radio.
yeah,
We allowed them to decide what we were going to listen to. We allowed them to decide what our kids were going to listen to.
yeah.
And we allowed it. So
absolutely.
I can't
And when we speak to
young kids, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
and yeah, and when we speak to what we allow, it's not specific to race. It's specific to money hungry people who were just looking at it as a business, and those were the scavengers that really had no empathy for the culture, had no empathy for what it was artistically being expressed, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent. They just had money in their mind. And
Yeah,
as a
I was,
businessman, I can't even knock it.
Yeah.
yeah, I can't knock it, but I'm like, yo, I was writing something the other day because I still write, I still produce. And one of the lines I wrote is like, yo, we claim hoods but don't own no land.
At all. At all.
You
It's
know what I mean?
sad.
Claim, all of us, we claim this hood, claim that, but we
We
don't.
don't own it.
And
Right.
unfortunately, you know, that's something that's been going on. Like, and we also, you know, we get up and we rap about shit that we've given up.
Wow.
Like we rap about
Wow.
selling drugs. You know, one of a song I wrote years ago. You talk about G's and keys, but never cases.
Mm.
Others who sit in court with tears falling from their faces.
Uh,
You know what I mean? So we promote it, but you know, I'll put it to you this way. I listen to music, and what's really funny to me is that when I listen to a Little Uzi Vert, or when I hear that it's die or it's negative shit, but
yeah.
I can listen to Jack Harlow and it's some love shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
And,
do I.
and right, they on demon time.
Yeah, the other brother with the tattoo on his face. They don't have to talk about killing, dead, all that shit. They get major radio play. So it's kind of like Saint said. He was like, yo, if I sing the Sam Smith song, beautiful song, I'm not going to get no radio play because they're scared of our law.
Wow.
It's our violence that they want. But if you look at Jack Harlow, I forget the other brother with the other young man with the tattoos on his face like that.
I'm trying to.
If listen to them, they can talk about love and girls and, you know, first class up in the.
Yeah.
But what black artists do you know that's going to get the same radio play for making a song?
Wow, man. They just had the 50 years of hip hop on BET, right?
Yeah.
Right.
They have all of these 50 years of hip hop, and they also acknowledge those that played a major part. Do you guys feel a certain way that they don't acknowledge the work that Brett and Sean Bouldin put in hip hop?
Who?
No.
You want to answer first? Or
Personally, no, I don't. I don't feel a certain way in reference to that because I look at it as we all can. It's in a place in a stage that we contributed to. Now, yes, we have contributed and laid down the path. So, do I get mad at BET? No. Do I get bothered with us artists who actually can dictate what BET does? Yes. For example, I'm bothered with the fact that Scarface, love him to death, did not have Willie D come to the awards ceremony at the Grammys.
Yeah.
I'm bothered by that because they did a Ghetto Boy song, My Mind Playing Tricks on Me, and Scarface allowed that.
Okay.
He should have just stood up and said, I'm not doing it without Willie. And so to that point, I get bothered more with that. Now with us, Be Real acknowledges that Brett wrote "Hand on the Pump,"
Yeah,
la 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 la
yeah,
la. He acknowledges that. Could we get more recognition? Could he get more recognition that a guy from Brooklyn helped spearhead a lot of the movement that happened, or two guys from Brooklyn helped spearhead a lot of the movement that happened in Los Angeles,
yeah.
in addition to some of our counterparts in LA? Yes, we should be able to get that. Am I bothered by it? No. I This opportunity of us speaking about it is opportunity for it to be exposed. Will it
Right,
be exposed in time? I'm sure.
right,
No,
Brett?
not at all. No. I'll be honest. The real reason is because the man I was then, the man I am now, are totally two different men. Um, does it bother? I think what bothers me the most is that I'm known for stuff that,
yeah,
like me, like he said, I wrote Hand on the Pump, and don't get me wrong, I love that I wrote Hand on the Pump, but as a man who's raised four sons and a daughter, sort of shotgun, hand on the pump, left hand on the 40, puffing on the blunt, buck my shotgun, the nigga didn't jump, la 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 la.
la, la, la,
Uh,
yeah,
well, now when I look at it as a man and I see what's going on with January 6th and Trump, I'm thinking, wow, damn, how many white nationalists listen to that song and that was their shit? So
right,
now I have to see it a different way. And maybe that's the reason why I'm not acknowledged, because maybe I still have work to do, and that's not what God wanted me acknowledged for, especially when I have songs like Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death, like Lucifer, like True Kings and Queens, like stuff that could really uplift my people.
yeah,
So I mean, one of the things I want to do, I actually want to put out a song, and I want to do, sort of shotgun, hand on the pump, left hand on the 40, puffing on the blunt, buck my shotgun, and the cracker didn't jump, a white boy didn't jump, la 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 la, because I want to see what's gonna happen when I put it that way, because they've allowed nigga for
that's
damn
right,
30
that's
years,
right, that's right, that's
but I
right,
know if I say cracker or white boy or something like that, oh, we're gonna have to have a talk, but
oh
then
yeah.
we can have that dialogue because I wrote it. So
So you wrote that verse. I'm sorry, you wrote that verse or just the whole
That
song?
the whole song.
Okay,
Hand on the pump, I wrote the whole song.
wow, and the verse, wow, okay,
Yeah, I wrote all the verses and the hook. The reason nobody knows is because what they tried to do, they tried to say the Hand on the Pump was a remix and Hand on My Nine was the original, whatever shit they did after that.
Yeah,
No,
they did
no,
a remix to "Hand on the Pump." I
yeah,
think was, and they tried to, because they wanted to, the business of it.
okay,
They wanted to really take the credit, and Brett was the person who did "Hand on the Pump." He gave Brett's always been fair. I got to say this about my brother, and he taught me this, although it might not be the best business move in hindsight. But he's always been fair with us. He shared his publishing with people who were
wow,
involved and who he was
wow,
dealing with. 783, Muggs didn't do pretty much anything, but he got a third of the publishing from 783 and the advances that we got because of my brother.
mm,
And even myself, I didn't do as much as my brother did, and he gave us a third. He broke it down evenly. And he did the same with the songs that he wrote on Hand on the Pump, etc. And that's something that I commend him for as a man.
yeah,
But
yeah,
unfortunately, those who benefited from it uh, don't always see it that way. So they tried something slick, and I wouldn't say Cypress did. The
yeah,
business label behind Cypress tried it, because then they had to really answer to Brett if he was the single. So they wanted control of the single, and that's why it kind of went.
yeah.
He didn't get the credit and the shine that he should have.
And I mean, to be honest with you, I don't really mind, because maybe this is why we're doing things like this now, because maybe it's supposed to come out now.
that's
So I
right,
don't really mind it. But like I said, I've always been producing. I've always been writing. Like I had a cat Malverde that I produced, who was totally did everything Spanish.
hmm
So I've always tried to do things that were different. I've always made my own way. You know, uh, some people, like I remember David Hall telling me when we were on tour with Hammer and Guy, David Hall
Hammer,
on stage one day, like, "Yo, B, I love that. Let me tell you, you way before your time, bro." You play
Yeah.
for your time, bro. So
Right.
I've
And
been ahead of my time.
and I will say that that is something that I as well believe we were always ahead of our time.
Mm-hmm.
Brett was the spearhead of being ahead of that time. And that's the reason why he got offered to do that "We Will Rock You" song through Ice, as opposed to some of the other members that might have been closer to Ice, because he was ahead of his time and shined in that manner. And I credit him because not just because he's my older brother, but because he spearheaded a lot for a lot of people.
That's
And
right.
as I just
Right.
described, was very fair and very generous and
Well,
humble about
look,
it.
That's
now,
why. That's the reason why I said. Go ahead. Yeah.
and
That's
you know, a man has to stand on integrity and character. And when
yeah.
you whenever I leave here, when they put me in that coffin, I'm a man. They're gonna be, yo, that's a man.
That's right.
And nobody can say I did him shady. I put it to you this way: ain't nobody in my life who I've dealt with who can't say I made their life better. And that's from women, the homeboys. Ain't nobody I've ever dealt with in my life who can't say they were better off after meeting me than they were when they met me.
That's
So
why I've mentioned that,
that,
man.
you
Yeah.
know, that's a lesson. That's some divine, Jesus walks type thing.
Yeah.
So, I ain't mad at anything, to be honest.
Okay. Well, that's fair. So it really doesn't bother you, but Sean, just some things does that you pointed out. But overall, y'all fine with it. You cool with not being acknowledged on a 50 years of hip hop thing, BET, none of that stuff.
Well, I mean,
It's not whether I'm cool or not. It is what it is, and
Yeah,
maybe
but it
right,
is what it is. Okay.
yeah, maybe
right.
Mhm.
because I am in one of the most famous pictures of hip hop, and so is Sean when the
Yeah,
Grammys were boycotted.
that's right. That's right.
So I am
Right.
part of that, and you see me there. So it's not. And then again, I don't know what the people who are being acknowledged. I don't know what they had to go through to get where they at.
Yeah.
You know,
And to Brett's point just now, that's why, no, I'm not bitter whatsoever about
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
I'm
right.
more so, history is something that does play near, and fit, and the truth to the history is really what I advocate. And we advocated from the start. So no, we contributed what we contributed. Would we have been? I don't think. I think there was a lot of people who deserved that stage before us, quite frankly.
Okay.
So if I'm going to be mad, I'm mad that they didn't get there because they had more mainstream appeal than we did. So in fairness, I get that. But as well, they would know us from a different angle. They know us as men, and we always approach this business as men first
That's right.
before we were artists. That's why it's Brett B and Sean B.
Okay.
It's not about name 783. That is our reality.
Okay. Yeah.
This has been us as men first, and we as young boys we understood that thanks to our father, our mother, and our upbringing, and our coming up in East New York, transitioning to Cali. So we understood that a long time ago when people was just talking. Brett was the one who introduced blunts to Cypress.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
So with that being said, but he's also the one who, when he was offered to do a song like "Click Click Bang Bang," he said, "I don't want to do that because I know what it's doing to my people. I didn't get in this music business to
Destroyed.
as a business.
Yeah.
We actually got in it to get out of the streets, to
Okay.
help us balance getting out of that mentality
and trying
and
to
help that." Right. Say
Okay.
that again, bro. We couldn't hear you.
Yeah.
came out. I had a song that Muggs wanted to do, and it was kill you with a knife and the blade's gonna do you. Shoot you with a gun and the bullet's gonna kill you. Rather break your neck with my motherfucking hands because that's my type of height. Know what I'm saying, man? And it was a really violent song. And he wanted to do it. And he was like, yo, let's do that. And I was like, nah, but I'll do something else for you.
Yeah.
And originally, the whole smoking blunts and all that, before it went to Cypress Hill, it came to 783. And he was
Oh.
like, oh, we should talk about this. And I was like, see, Muggs and B Real and them, well, I don't know about B Real, but Muggs and Sinner, they all lived in houses.
Okay.
Like, they lived in houses in South Carolina.
Be real too. Hmm.
Yeah, like, I'm not saying it was the greatest neighborhood, but they
Okay.
lived in houses. I'm from the project. I'm from piss in the elevator, shit in the elevator,
Right.
crack staircase, all of that. So when it came to talking about smoking blunts and all of that
Yeah,
shit, I'm like,
it was fabricated.
yeah, it's like, you know, the kids where I come from, that shit lead to crack, that shit lead to a lot of other things. Y'all live in houses, man. Like y'all got driveways and shit like that.
So
And even
basically,
though you got,
they never been through that.
yeah, even if y'all got a gang problem, what have you, yo, you know, at 12 years old, 11 years old in the projects, I knew 13-year-olds doing bids for murders and shit like that.
That's
So
right. That's right.
it was a little different for me to actually promote that. Like that was something that I'm like, nah, man, I don't really live that shit. Like I'm in California because my mother was scared that me and my brother was living that shit. Like we were really about that life. Like we were about that. That was what we was.
And you didn't want to talk about that, but
No,
he did. He from the suburbs, and he want to talk about it.
no, but
And in
no,
fairness, it
hold
wasn't
on.
the.
But
Go
when you
ahead.
Yeah,
because I know we all got people we know from the streets. How many of real street dudes want to talk about it?
you're right. You're absolutely right. No, no, a real street dude don't glorify what he's done.
Yeah, the one who's adjacent to it, the one who could come in and out, the one who's like, yo, he's coming, and then when the shit gets hot, they like send him home. He can talk about it. They'll buy it from him.
Yeah,
But the ones actually living that shit and doing it, you don't know that many of them talking about it like
that's
that.
right. That's right. That's
Like,
right.
nah, like even you know, even I know some who were in it and they was making money, but they were making money and they talk about it, but they wasn't like the ones I know who was in it with bodies out, like was in it in it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they might have been affiliated and rapped
And,
and had an
yeah.
affiliation, but we didn't come from affiliates.
That's right.
We was raised with real dudes. So by the
And,
time
and,
we
and,
California, it was like, yo, I'm not trying to talk about that shit. I don't live it.
That's right.
yeah. And in fairness, there was gangs out here and all of that. But if you think about any gang member or any street person, or whether it be New York, LA, Philly, all of those who were actually doing it, when they saw people doing music, they was like, "Yo, stick to that.
Yeah,
Leave this shit alone."
Leave that alone. You stick
yeah,
to this.
yeah.
Right? Do that. Leave
I,
this alone.
yeah.
And that's kind of where we were raised.
That's
I
right.
remember when I first got to Cali, motherfuckers be like, yo, you gang? Nah, I don't gang bang, bro. I bang. The fuck? You want bang? Let's bang.
Yeah,
I don't,
yeah.
you know,
You
I
you,
don't
you
need
you
no,
saying you give him 1-on-1, right?
yeah, I'm a straight East New York nigga. I don't need no gang.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, we can do it. I'm about that life. And that's how I met Ice.
Wow.
But I
Wow.
wasn't in it because I had a father who was like, nah, bro, you ain't gonna. My father was a correction officer. He worked at CYA out here.
Yeah.
He
Heard of that.
so I knew all about the system, what it was going to do, and all that. And he was like, yo, go the other way. So I went the other way. But it wasn't like I didn't have others who didn't go the other way.
Yeah, but yeah, you had a father to tell you that, man.
Not only that, but I stood on my own. So it was different. But, you know, when you got people who affiliated, that's one thing, and they can talk about it. But those who actually really in it, yo, they ain't talking about it. And when they talking about it, they done did it and they getting out of it. Like they talking about it in a way like, yo, let's do this. They talking about it in a way like, yo, I did this. This ain't the shit for you to do.
Let's move on. I did
Like,
this.
let's do something else. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
action, I done did all that, but now I'm doing this and this. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that's where we were with it. But like I said, a lot of them, you know, they grew up in houses. We just had different upbringing.
Wow.
And I wasn't a gangbanger. I've never been a gangbanger, so we had different upbringings. It was different.
Wow, wow. Well, y'all also gave us We'll Rock You. You gave us Mad Mad World. You gave us Coolin and Cali, Party Time. Brett, you also work with Shanice.
Yeah.
Can you please tell me about that moment? How did that happen between you and Shanice working together?
Because I worked with Portrait.
Okay, okay.
Portrait, Michelangelo from Portrait was producing Shanice.
Okay.
And he needed, I think it was what's the name of the movie? Robert Townsend's movie.
Uh,
Media Man.
Media Man.
Media Man.
Okay.
And soundtrack for Media Man, and he needed a rap for it. And at that point, I had already did the rap on Honey Dip for Portrait.
Mhm.
So I did the rap on it. We did that. But when they went to film the video, me and Portrait were on tour. So that's how the guy came in and played my part because I couldn't. They didn't want to fly me back to do the video
Oh,
because me and Portrait we were already on the road on tour. So that's how the guy, whoever I don't remember but whoever was in it, he rapped my part. But that's how I got it through Michelangelo of Portrait. He
okay,
produced the song for Shanice.
okay. Oh, so that's how it went down.
Yep,
Right. And Sean, you also did on the soundtrack for Rocky.
yep. Rocky Five.
Yep, Rocky Five. We did "Take You Back," which was
Take you back.
a remake of uh, Frank Stallone, which is Sylvester Stallone's brother. He did an original "Take You Back," and we did another rendition with Bobby Simmons and
From Step.
William Staten.
Yeah,
Uh, and yeah, Bobby Simmons is from Stetsasonic.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
actually he produced that.
Mhm.
and what happened? What how we got that is, and I think it's either Rocky One or Rocky Two.
Yeah.
There's a scene with Frank Stallone, and they're all sitting around the garbage can,
Mhm.
and they take me back. Woo-doo-hoo-hoo, take me back. So we took that, and that's how we got that. How we remade.
You kind of flipped it,
Yeah,
Right.
Wow, that's the see, like I said, man. You guys wore a lot of hats, and you put in work over the
oh,
years, man. You put in a
def-
lot of work.
definitely.
Do you still, Sean, the both brothers? Do you still have any contact with Cypress Hill?
Yeah,
We see them all. Yeah, we see. I mean, there's love between us. That's like our brothers. You know,
yeah.
we literally paved the way and put them on. So why would we not? We don't
Yeah,
got. And we just share with you. We don't have no ill sentiments, no
Yeah,
resentment, no bitterness to none of that. We're children of God, and we both allow God to lead us to where we are. So when we see them, it's all love.
love.
Muggs, we still love him. We still love Be Real Sinning. We love him to death. He's
Yeah,
like one of the realists. Mellow Man Ace. Mellow Man Ace got his deal in a 783 studio session
Mellow
for
Man, yeah.
Mentirosa. Yeah.
Mentirosa,
So
yeah, Mentirosa.
we got nothing but love. Son Doobie, we got a brotherly love with him because he's like our little brother. He's like the closest little brother, and so sometimes he might get on our nerves sometimes, but he's our little brother. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like, but we love him as well. I
yeah,
mean, ain't nobody we
yeah.
got no love.
Ain't nothing like that. Like the last time I remember I went to Be Real. I was just down in the studio maybe 3 or 4, 5 years ago, something like that. And I was just going to chill, and he was like, "Yo, B, I need you to get on." And I got on the show, and he was telling everybody how I roll hand on the pump.
Hey, little-
And he was like,
yeah,
all y'all people out there that be singing my la 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 la, that's because of this dude. This
right.
dude.
That's right.
So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
it's always love. And even with Muggs, when things come up, if something comes up and he needs something from me or whatever, he'll be like, "Yo, B, could you do this? Could you do that?" So it's all love.
Yeah, it's all love. Matter of fact, we still call Muggs and Be Real on their birthday. And Be Real's a Gemini like me. Muggs is March is January 28th. So we always keep in contact. Yo, what's up? Matter of fact, he called, said happy birthday, or sent a text. Yo, happy birthday. Good looking out. G, how's everything? They were doing the book and the movie. They reached out to me for Brett to have him do some stuff in the forward. So yeah, it's nothing but love. We was featured a little bit in the Soul Assassins movie that they just did, or the documentary that they did. They had
Yeah.
us in there. People were calling us, "Yo, I just saw you." I remember Corrupt called me. He was like, "Yo, Sean B, I just see you in the Cypress Hill thing." I was like, "Yeah, Corrupt." He was like, "Man, I didn't know you did that." I was like, "Corrupt, I told you several times because I also ran Corrupt's label, and I also worked at Interscope during Death Row days with the Dog Pound and stuff. So we got a long history as well. I A&R Space Boogie album. So we got a long history. And he's like, I didn't know that. I said, yeah, I told you. He said, man, maybe I just forgot. Blame it on the age. But he called me when he saw it. So yeah, they've been giving us love. We got nothing but love for them, to answer your question.
Yeah.
Wow, and between and anyone can answer this, man. Showing off, Brett. What haven't you attempt yet that you hope to?
A 783 second album. No.
Oh, second album.
A
Okay.
third album. I'm sorry. I'm joking on that. Brett, what you go first.
No, I didn't hear the question. What did you
What
say?
What haven't you attempt yet that you hope to?
Haven't I attempt?
Attempted yet? Yeah.
I haven't. Right now, I'm in the process. Just I'm dabbling and putting together a 783 album or something, just because I love writing, I love producing, but most of all, I want to do something and offer love. Like, I don't know if we have that in our music anymore.
Yeah.
And it's at a point where I know some younger people who are into it. I know some older people are into it. And I just think it's time to maybe do something different. And but not like money or anything. Good on that. Just
Yeah.
something to leave to give my people. A gift.
Yeah.
My people give the world on some positive shit.
That's
Now,
it.
what do I want to attempt that I haven't done yet?
Yeah.
Uh, Bring exposure to the contributions that my brother has given to this industry. I've done it for so many other artists. I brought, we did it with Cypress and Son, and I brought
Black
Black Eyed Peas over to Interscope. We worked with Tupac and I worked with Tupac and Interscope, and I've helped a lot of people's career get exposed. And the person who helped me and put me into the game doesn't get his just due as far as I'm concerned. So being able to do things like what we're doing right now and highlight the impact that man right there specifically has done for the industry is something I want to do personally, that I haven't attempted yet. So other than that, in the music, we've done everything we could do in reference to we've been artists, we've been managers, we've been producers, we've had labels, we've
A&R.
done A&R, we've done television and film. My brother started out in television. I'm gonna expose this. He did a childhood movie. He was in a movie with Cecily Tyson and Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. Yeah, it was called. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. You can say it.
Welcome to Success, the Marva Collins story,
Yeah, Marva
which was based a school teacher from out of Chicago that started her own school, a black school teacher out of Chicago that started her own school for the youth of her neighborhood. And Morgan Freeman played the husband, and Cecily Tyson played Marva Collins. And my brother was one of their sons. And that really was that was before he moved to California. That was before we did any music. This was in like 83 or something like that. So he's done movies with some of the biggest stars. He's done records with some of the biggest stars. We've done shows with some of the biggest stars. He's written for some of the biggest
I wrote
stars.
a book for DMX's song on Players.
Yeah, on Players Club. I was head of the rap department of A&M when we launched Players Club. We Be Clubbing. I helped We Be Clubbing literally get its feet. Adam Favors, myself, Kevin Black. We literally
Ice Cube, right? I think
Ice Cube.
You said DMX, right?
DMX had a song on that soundtrack.
On
Players
Players Club. You
Yes,
did?
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
And Clark Kent called me down. Either Muggs or Sean called me, and Clark was like, "Yo, I need a hook," and I went down and did the hook for DMX's song on Players Club.
Right.
Okay.
And I was the person who was running the rap department at that point for A&M for the Players Club soundtrack. So the We Be Clubbing, the We Can Freak It. I was spearheading that with my partners. Like I said, Adam Favors, Kevin Black, Dave Rosas, Ian Fletcher, a bunch of us, Mona Lisa Murray. We were part of launching that, and We Be Clubbing got resistance. It was in LA. and I was the one who actually convinced Demiza, who was the program director at the time at Power 106, to give it a chance because he wasn't going to give it the chance that it deserved. And he, to this day, he remembers that I was actually the person who convinced him to do that. And that became a record that at first they was a little concerned with, and it was a song that they could not take off the air. We had to beg them to switch out "We Be Clubbing" with "We Can Freak It." So we
Wow.
took down the rotation of "We Be Clubbing" so that "We Can Freak It" can get in there, and those were two great hits off of A&M rap department that merged ultimately into Geffen and Interscope.
Wow, man. Y'all stories is like they go back. And like I said, it's not even enough time to listen to the whole career and the
Man,
journey of 783. Viewers, we have the legendary group 783. Sean and Brett Bouldin, right? Oh, Bouldin.
Yeah.
Bouldin, yes, sir.
Sean and Brett Bouldin. These guys made history. Everyone knows who they are. Do just let them know exactly where they can go at to hear more, to hear your music, to hear your catalog, and just to know like your social media pages. Let's give the viewers that.
Okay. Brett, go ahead.
I guess you can go anywhere on YouTube, and I'm on Instagram on under BB783 at BB783.
And I'm at Sean Bolden, SeanBouldin, SeanBouldin on all of the platforms. That's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You know what we're doing now. We absolutely have My Beverages,
Wow.
which is a company where we are distributing water, and we just have a brand that's coming through our distribution called H2O, which is a CBD infused water that is hitting the marketplace right now. It's called H2O. Some partners of ours run it, we're distributing it, and we're about to expose that. So I wish I had a bottle. Which Brett, do you
So
have a
so
bottle?
so so it's not H2O, it's whoa.
Yeah.
H2O.
Brett, do you have a bottle with you?
And let's get a bottle, man. Let's check it out.
There's a 783 Instagram page too. Hold on.
Yeah, which is the 7A3, which we run as well. And we'll be really going, Brett and I are going to go on there live just to kind of fulfill some of the stories that you didn't have the time for. We're going to come on there. So you're welcome to join us. That's the H2O.
Oh, there you go. Okay, H2O. Wow, okay. That's dope, man. That's dope.
And
You
it's a
know,
CBD infused water based out of here in Southern California. If you need it, you can go official H2O. That just launched on Instagram, and the website should be up shortly as well.
look, listen, I really thank y'all for allowing this opportunity.
Thank you
Shout
for,
out to BTP Media Group. I thank y'all, man. 783.
thank you for
Can you
having me.
guys can you? You're welcome, man. You're welcome.
Thank you. Yes.
What's up? This is Brett B.
And I'm Sean B. And we're the 783. Big up A Vision. That's what I'm talking about. A Vision Media Broadcast in the building. We're in the building. Thanks for having us. A Vision salute. Media broadcast that you don't want to miss.